Welcome back to another episode of my channel. Today we're going to do the second list of the 5 that I introduced, that I said that we're going to do last episode. Last top 10 was my top 10 Marvel characters / actors. Iron Man was the top number 1 pick. If you want to know who else was in this list, go to the other video. Link in that. Go subscribe to my channel and turn on those notifications for when I ever upload videos. But for this episode, we're going to do another Marvel list, but this time it's not characters, it's my top 10 Marvel movies. Now, this is subjective. Everyone has different opinions, and the movies is probably where I'm going to where people mostly will say, you're wrong, that's not the worst movie. It's my thoughts, and it's my favourite movies. You cannot. It's what I want. It's the movies that I like. Don't question me on the choices that I make. But let's get into the video. So in number 10 is going to be the original Avengers movie, which is surprising. Obviously, you'd expect it to be in the top 5. Not for me personally. I like it. It's good. Josh Whedon did a good job. But the movies above, I like even more. But that's all I got. Number 9 is going to be Iron Man, the original. I know it's the opening, and I know people would be saying, it's a great movie. I like it. I've never watched it before. I've heard that it's good. That's why it's not higher up. Number 8 is going to be the sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming, which, yes, we will get back to in this video. Don't you worry. Far From Home. Loved it. A bit too long for my liking. Still, ending, Mysterio, one of the better villains. Obviously, Spider-Man's been known for the best villains with the Vulture in the first movie, which I'll get to in the end. Next.
You want a drink? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Number 7 is going to be the third Thor movie, Thor Ragnarok. Obviously, the director that directed both the original and For the Dark World was replaced by New Zealand director Taika Waititi. And this is why it's higher. This is why it's in the top 10. If it wasn't for Taika Waititi's direction, this would not be on this list. But that's all I got. And okay, so we're going to move on to number 6. Number 6 is the first out of 2 Captain America films, Winter Soldier. We got into, obviously, in Winter Soldier was when we were introduced to Bucky Barnes, the guy who obviously Cap's best friend, who he thought was missing in the train journey, but obviously came back, was brainwashed, and had to. But that's really all I got. Number 5 is going to be the sequel to Winter Soldier, Captain America: Civil War. This has the best fight scene in the entirety of the MCU. You know what I'm talking about? The airport scene. We also had Black Panther. R.I.P. to Chadwick Boseman, who I said in the last video had passed away at the young age of 43 by cancer. Had died by cancer at the age of 43. Very sad. But we'll forget about it and move on to number 4. Number 4 and 3 is between Endgame and Infinity War. It was really hard to choose between these two. You'd expect me to put them in my top 2, but they're not in the top 2 because I've got 2 that I prefer to those games. But in number 4 is going to be the big event of the year of 2018. Infinity War. One of my favourite movies, has one of my favourite battles in all of the biggest and the best battle. The biggest and the best all-round battle in the entirety of the MCU. There's debates about it. But what amazing is it? It's amazing. But all the characters we love, obviously said goodbye to a few of them, like Loki, which is a big bummer, but obviously he'll be back. Vision, who I'll definitely expect to come back in the series, because Paul Bettany is not done yet. But it doesn't beat out Endgame, the movie that overtook Infinity War as the highest grossing film of all time. And I can kind of see why. It was just as good as Infinity War, maybe a bit better, that's why it's a bit higher. But the only reason everything in this movie came true. We finally got to see Captain America lift Thor's hammer. We saw a fat version of a Big Lebowski version of Thor. We had Professor Hulk. We had the death of Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff. We had that heartbreaking opening scene when we see Clint Barton's family getting turned to dust. It's got all those. It's got the mainline Avengers Assemble, and we also can't forget the hit and miss it cameo from Howard the Duck. Yes, Howard the Duck appears in Endgame, just like he did in Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, not Volume 2, didn't make it on this list. Guardians of the Galaxy is my second favourite Marvel movie. Brought a band of misfits. This movie brought a band of misfits and made them an integral part of the series. That's really all I got to say for them. Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Vin Diesel, Bradley Cooper all bring the perfect charm to their characters. Obviously, my favourite is going to be Zoe Saldana because she was in the My Little Pony movie, and any actors that's in the My Little Pony movie is a favourite of mine. But doesn't get number one. My number one favourite movie is Spider-Man: Homecoming. The reason why it's number one for me above all the other movies in the MCU is one name: Michael Keaton, who played obviously the Vulture. One of my favourite actors, best known for Batman, but also known for Beetlejuice as well, which has been given which had a stage adaptation that started a year ago. And also Tom Holland brings an amazing charm to it. The relationship that he had with the relationship between him and Toomes' daughter was pretty fun. The action scenes were top notch. I like Ned a lot. Obviously, we had to wait until Far From Home to see Tom Holland, Spider-Man, Peter Parker unite with Nick Fury to take down the Mysterio, which we've obviously talked about later in this list. But the reason why Homecoming is number one: great movie, great fight scenes, great villain, and Michael Keaton. But that is going to be it for my top 10 Marvel movies. In my opinion, that was my opinion. But until next time, peace.